Well, welcome. Thank you, Maritza. Thank you, Stephen, for being here. Welcome to all of our members of the community. Sister Deidre, Shumps, thank you. We're going to do, of course, have an opportunity for formal introductions, but for those of you who are hopping on now, kudos to you. You know, come get your place on here. That's very wise. So very excited that you're here. For those of you who are just joining us, please go ahead and in the chat box, let us know where you're zooming in from today. Let us know what city in Maricopa County you're zooming in from. We like to recognize you, and we're very excited that you're here. We already have Scott still in the house. Mr. Ezra Hussein, thank you. Very happy to have you here. We're going to get started in about 4 minutes. Now is an incredible time to text your friends still, your family, and let them know that this important event is happening today. And to remind them, I know a lot of us know, but just to remind them that now is a perfect time to hop on, where we definitely want everyone in our community to have an opportunity to hear these incredible candidates who are going to be representing us, inshallah, within the next year coming up. So welcome, everybody. For those of you who are just joining, we're very happy to have you here. Please go ahead and in the chat box, let us know what city you are representing today, where you're zooming in from. And we definitely welcome you all here for this very important, very exciting event. This is an interesting year. And so this election period is quite interesting also, but there's a lot of excitement that is happening. There's a lot of good things that are going on. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. So go ahead, welcome everybody. We're happy to have you here. I see Sister Karen, Brother Muhammad Sharkawi, welcome. We're happy to have you all here. Please, as you come in, put what city you're coming in from, you're zooming in from today. We want to know. We know there's Scottsdale already in the house that's represented. We want to see all the different corners of Maricopa County that's going to be represented on this call. We're happy to have you here. Please, in the chat box, we have Chandler, who's represented as well. We're very happy to have you. So now is a great time to go ahead and text your friends, your family, let them know that they still have an opportunity to hop on this very important Zoom today, where they have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with the candidates, those who are going to be leading us, leading our county, leading our state within the next year to come. And there's going to be ramifications beyond, right, this next year to come. So that's why this call is going to be very, very important. So welcome, everybody. If you're just joining us today, put in the chat box where you are calling in from, where you're zooming in from. And we want to feel your presence. We want to know that you're there, and we welcome all of you here. We see Levine in the house, Chandler in the house. Very excited to have you here. We will be getting this call started in 2 minutes. Go ahead, put in the chat box where you're zooming in from. Put in the chat box where you're zooming in from. What corner of Maricopa County are you representing today? Chandler, also welcome. Welcome, Zeki from Chandler. Mazen from Levine, we're very happy to have you here. Muazzim from Chandler, welcome. Very happy to have you here. Take this time also within the next 2 minutes to text your family, text your friends, let them know that this opportunity is happening today. This is a very special opportunity where our community gets to meet our future representatives. They're coming here to meet you. So we definitely don't want to miss this opportunity, and we don't want anyone we care about to miss this opportunity. So go ahead and shoot them a text with the same link that you got in, and so that we will get started in about 60 seconds. Awesome. Continue to put your city in the chat box. And I'm hearing that my computer is kind of going in and out. Is that? Sounds good to you, Sister Deidre? Okay, Maritza, okay. I'll look for your head, Shumps, Maritza, Deidre, to know. And I think the Zoom world, I think everybody's Zooming right now. So if I may sound shaky on my end to your end, it's because we're all online right now, right? So we're happy that you're all coming in and just, we'll all work together, right? Teamwork makes the dream work. Welcome, welcome. For those of you just joining us, please put your name, your city in the chat box. Let us know where you're calling in from. We got Chandler represented, Mesa, Karen Hadley. We have Chandler again in the house. This is fantastic. Very excited to have you all here. And we are going to get started in about 30 seconds according to my clock. Continue to put your name in the chat box. Awesome.
Chandler is winning right now.
Chandler's winning. I like it. I like it. I like that. Let's see where else is representing. We have Mesa. We have Levine.
Yes, I like to say Arizona is winning right now.
All of Arizona. I like that. Let's say that. All right. It looks like it's 2 o'clock on my watch here. So I'm going to ask everyone to mute yourself out. All right, Chandler, here we go. I like it. Mesa, welcome, welcome. All right, it's 2 o'clock on the dot. We want to be respectful of everybody's time. So whoever has the ability to mute everybody out, please go ahead and do that. And then I'll ask everybody else to just make sure you're muted so that we can have a nice, clean line. Definitely keep shouting out your city. I greet you all in the traditional greetings of Islam, the greeting shared by 1.5 billion Muslims worldwide and 150,000 Muslims here in the U.S. in Arizona alone, the majority of us in Maricopa County. Assalamu alaikum, may peace be upon each and every one of you. Good afternoon, honored guests and Muslim brothers and sisters in Maricopa County. My name is Zarina Nadir. Since 1981, from the time I was 10 months old, I've been a Phoenician. I'm a product of Arizona's public school system. My first elementary school was Starlight Park in the Cartwright School District on the west side of Phoenix. And then on to the Tippy Elementary School system at Aguilar, where my playground shared a fence with Kiwanis Park. In high school at Marcos de Niza High School, my junior year, the U.S. government teacher brought us the forms to register to vote. So from day one, I've been a registered Democrat. And during law school, I had the privilege at Arizona State University to serve as a poll observer during the 2004 presidential election, Bush v. Kerry. And today, for almost a decade, I'm a proud precinct committee person and committeeman of LD 18, Legislative District 18. And I'm a Muslim. I was born and raised Muslim by an exemplary parents who converted to Islam in New York in the 1970s. At the time, my father was NYPD and my mother was beginning her career, her now 41-year career as a social worker. And the Muslims of Arizona comprise of people just like me. Those who've been born and raised in Arizona for generations, to those who are newcomers and have been here only a short while, and everywhere in between. We are a multi-ethnic group. We are a multilingual group of men and women. We are young and we are seniors. We are lawyers. We are doctors. We are Montessori teachers. We are professors. We are social workers. We are psychologists. We are in the arts. We are in law enforcement. And we are dedicated volunteers and donors. And we are voters. We have over 26 mosques within our valley here, primarily in the Maricopa County area. And again, they range from all different kinds of people. It's the United Nations when you get to go into a mosque here in Arizona. And we are proud of that. And we love it and we honor that. And so this particular event today brings together a cadre of those brothers and sisters from this community who are voters, who are activists, who have been poll observing. They have been working to be poll observers. They have been working on making phone calls for the candidates, getting signatures for the candidates.
Hey, sister, assalamu alaikum. So there are a lot of brothers and sisters waiting in the lobby. Please get them in.
Thank you, brother. We are working on it as fast as we can. So, and we care. We care. We are a community who cares. We are a community who votes. We are a community who donates. We are a community who gives, and we are a community who cares. And so that's why this particular event was brought together today. And so I want to thank the organizers. It was a nice big group of folks, but namely Salahuddin Chowdhury, Manzoor Hussain, Nakibul Islam, Abrar Chisti, Zubayd Islam, Mansoor Rahman, Asma Nuruddin, and Arif Mahmood, and also Brother Muhammad Al-Sharkawi and Arif Kazmi and Sister Shams Abdus Samad, as well as Sister Deidre Aboud. And on all of their behalf, it is my honor to be able to now turn over the rest of this call to an amazing leader in all of Arizona. And we are very fortunate to have him as the chairman of the Maricopa Democratic Party. He has been the chair for the last 5 years, but working actively with the party for over a decade. Leadership is not new to him. Winning these kinds of races is not new to him. Turning our state blue is not new to him, and he has been doing a phenomenal job. And so I'm honored to be able to now turn the remainder of this call over to none other than the chairman of the Maricopa County Democratic Party, Stephen Slagaki. Stephen, the call is all yours, sir. Stephen, sir, we can't hear you.
We're trying to get him on as well as the other people. So if you wouldn't mind, could you continue on with the agenda? I'm going to try to get on the back end.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
I would be honored to.
Sister Zarina, hundreds of people are waiting, and this is saying the max out.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
like,
we can only have
That's why Stephen's not here, okay? So we're working on that.
Yeah, exactly. So we need to have, yeah. So
we can work this out.
yeah, we since he's not like, I think he's fixing the limit. So while he's coming, you can talk more about the community, and also Sister Deidre can pitch in, or Brother Sharkavi.
That would be fantastic. So we have a great problem today. We have maxed out the call, and we are looking at getting the more of a limit. This is a good sign. This speaks to what I've just been saying. We are a community who cares. We are a community who shows up. And so what I would like to do then at this point, just to, you know, in the interest of time, and just kind of continue to share a bit about who we are as a community. I'm going to turn it over to someone who, the moment she has been a part of this community, I had the pleasure of meeting her and getting to know her more. And the moment she came, she didn't let any grass grow under her feet. She came, she gave to the community. She has been part of bringing about equality and justice throughout the entire community as well, to the point of even going to law school and becoming an attorney also. And she's ran, she is currently, oh, let's go ahead and stay muted then. But I am very pleased and honored to be able to get to call this individual a leader within our community and also a friend. So I'm going to introduce you all to Sister Deidre Aboud.
Hello. So this event was put together pretty last minute, and it's extraordinary that we were able to bring on 20 candidates. We have people who aren't talking. Like, can we do that from the moderator host section, since people aren't muting themselves? Not me. So we put this together last minute. We wanted to get the Muslim community more involved, especially as Democrats. You know, as Democrats, we have been running like crazy. When I ran for U.S. Senate, I did 75,000 miles in the state of Arizona. And that's what Democrats have been trying to do, really get out to all the different communities and talk to them, explain the positions, but then also listen to them, because Democrats do care in this way. They really do want to represent all of the people. And as Muslims, we know that Muslims are literally everything that you can imagine, in ethnicity, in location, in continent, in profession. I mean, we are all over the place. Not everybody looks the same. And it's easier for some people because they can look like they aren't the stereotype, and then some people can't. So as Muslims, we try to come together and be a community. We are not monolithic, but we are tied together because we have a lot of interests. Really? We have a lot of the same interests, and we're a huge community within Arizona. Like Zarina said, we're 150,000 people, Muslims in Arizona, and the vast majority of those, like over 100,000 of them, are in Maricopa County itself. It's a huge voting block, but not necessarily everybody has the same ideas. So having more events like this, so that Muslims can engage with the candidates can find out how diverse and interesting we are, this is what we need to keep doing. We need to be involved. Local matters. We, especially in our community, I know from years of working within the Muslim community, just like everybody else, we are often distracted by only what's going on at the top of the tickets. But what happens at the bottom of the ticket, I mean, the school boards, you can't get any closer to your home than a school board, because they literally not just decide where to spend money, but they decide on the policy for that school district. They get to decide whether or not, and I've had a lot of experience in this, they get to decide whether or not they're going to address discrimination or bullying or anything like that within that very small school community. So we need to be involved in that. You know, we should be going to their school board meetings. We should be part of the PTAs at least, you know, to know what's going on. And, you know, and then we have the city councils. Half the time we don't even know when the city council races are, much less who's representing us. People win these offices whether we show up or not. So elections are an opportunity for us to research, get to know people, and help decide who represents us, rather than just sitting back and saying, I don't know, but something upsets me. So, you know, I'm very proud that we were able to put this together, and I can tell you now that we are able to get more people in, so more people will be coming in. I see the numbers rising. Back to you, Zarina.
Thank you, Sister Deidre. And so again, welcome everybody. And we appreciate you, Sister Deidre, for all the work that you've done on the front lines, and also, you know, working to make sure that the Muslim community, doing your part really in a major part, to make sure the Muslim community is involved, is aware of what's going on election-wise, so that we can continue to participate. You know, there are those out there who want to participate, but they don't know how. And so being able to bring events like this to the community is just so important. So we thank all of the candidates who have taken time out to be here today as well, and all of our brothers and sisters who are on here also. And I'm going to look for a high sign when our chair is available, and I'll shoot it back over to him. But I will also say that, again, this is not a time to be on the sidelines. This is not a time to be, you know, undecided about voting. We have to vote. There's just no choice. If the only reason to vote is so that you can talk about whoever won later, you want to vote, right? You don't want to. If you opt out of having any critique as well. That's my position on it. And so, but that's what we're about. We are a country that is designed on democracy, in the sense that the citizenry should be involved. We should participate. So wherever else and ideologies, you know, again, because we do come from different places. Some of us come from different parts of the world where, you know, voting is not, it doesn't matter, or, you know, you see it happen in a different way. You know, when we're here, this country, USA, we vote, and we have to vote. We have to participate. And so if we are fortunate enough to be US citizens here, this is our opportunity to speak up, to say what we believe, and to ensure, and then also to hold leadership accountable. You know, just because you vote for someone who you like doesn't mean now they are absolved of accountability also. So this is our way of doing it, though. It's through the vote. So we're very excited to have all of you here. Again, this is an exciting time, and we have someone who is helping to lead this charge, and I'm so honored that he took the time to be here today and to help us organize this event and pull together such great candidates. It's my privilege and honor to now be able to turn the call over to the Maricopa County Democratic Chair, Stephen Slagaki. Stephen, the call is all yours.
Okay. Hey everybody, can you hear me? I just want to make sure, like, I don't know what is going on with my internet. I'm having all sorts of problems here right now.
You sound great, Stephen.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, again, I really apologize. I don't know what is going on with my house right now.
It's 2020, man. It's not your fault.
It is. My computer's got, I don't know what's going on here, another virus. But anyway, I just want to thank you, all of you, for what you're doing today. I really greatly appreciate it. Thank you for your time. Thank you for being here today. I'm going to put some links in that chat here in a few minutes, again, about how you can get involved. Once I get my computer up and running, I will definitely get this going for you. But again, you know, we have one more day for voter registration. Ballots are going out in 3 days. In 3 days, this election is going to begin. And it's important that we're going to vote early. We need everybody to do whatever you can to vote early. And again, this election is in 30 days. It's going to end in 30 days. Excuse me. So we need you, everybody, to vote, vote, vote. That is so important that we get our vote in early. And we have in Maricopa County, we have the most incredible slate of candidates that we're going to introduce you to today. We have a full slate of countywide candidates for the first time ever, as well as a full slate of Board of Supervisors candidates. And you're going to hear from three of our candidates today. And we're incredibly thankful for everybody who stepped up to run for office this year. So, you know, before we get started, I want to thank all of our candidates. Thank you to the Muslim community. Thank you, Deidre, for helping organize this as well. I want to make sure I give incredible credit to our amazing staff of the Maricopa County Democratic Party, led by Maritza Miranda Sines. We've got Eder, we've got Brooklyn, we've got Laura. We've got an incredible team here. And in 30 days, we are going to win, and we are going to turn Arizona blue, and we are going to kick Donald Trump out of the White House. We are going to elect Mark Kelly to the Senate. We are going to re-elect Paul Penzone as our sheriff. We're going to re-elect, re-elect Adrian Fontes as our county recorder. We've got Dan Toporek, who's running for county treasurer, Julie Gunnigal as our county attorney, Aaron Connor as our next assessor. We've got Linda Thorpe for community college. We've got so many amazing candidates here. And again, I want to thank everybody. Julie, I can't see, but is Julie Gunnigal, is she on this call right now? I'm going to switch over, but is Julie on?
Well, hey there, Stephen.
Okay, so sorry, I am on my phone here, so this is very difficult. But you know, our first candidate that I want to introduce first is running for Maricopa County Attorney, and I think everybody can agree that we need criminal justice reform, and that's going to start by electing a new and the first ever female Maricopa County Attorney. So please welcome Julie Gunnigal.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for that incredible introduction. It is so nice to see all of you virtually. I hope that every single person on this call is as excited as I am to vote and has made a plan to vote. My plan is that my ballot, I'm on the permanent early voting list. It's going to arrive here in a matter of days. I'm going over to Carolina's. I'm getting a giant plate of food, and I'm going to start that ballot right there at the bottom, and I'm going to vote my way up because it is so important, some of these down ballot positions, that we get it right here in 2020 if we want to have real justice for our community. Because it is so cool that we have an astronaut at the top of the ticket. But while we're electing Mark Kelly, we need to make sure that midway down that ticket that we re-elect someone like Adrian Fontes to county recorder, who is working day and night, making it easier for all of us to vote. You know, we need to flip the state legislature by electing Democrats into the House and Senate. But while we're doing that, we need to make sure that we elect a county attorney who's willing to hold us all accountable and make sure that there's equal justice under the law. And that's why I'm running. I'm running for Maricopa County Attorney. It is the third largest prosecutor's office in our entire country. It has been subjected to 40 years of single-party Republican control, and we've seen what single-party control has done to our state and to our criminal justice system. It's turned us into the 5th largest incarcerator in the country, the 8th largest in the world, and I am running to change that and transform our system into one that is tough and smart and fair. So hi, I'm Julie Gunnigal. I was born and raised right here in Maricopa County. My mother was a proud public school teacher, so I quite literally grew up inside our public schools here in our county. I left to go to law school at Notre Dame, and I prosecuted primarily violent crime and child-on-child sexual assault until I was tapped to join the Cook County Financial Crime and Public Corruption Bureau. That means that it was my honor to serve the taxpayers as the prosecutor when politicians stole public funds. And that is why I am in this race, because I don't believe we've done enough as Arizonans to keep our system transparent and to make sure that the people that we elect are held accountable. So you should care about this race, in particular, if you care about systemic change. You know, we have a problem here in Maricopa County, and it's a problem that our current unelected county attorney is just unwilling to address. And it's that our county has some of the biggest racial disparities in the entire country. And when asked whether or not systemic racism existed in our criminal justice system, her answer to the public was that she would discipline any prosecutor who inappropriately used race. And that tells me that she profoundly doesn't get it and isn't willing to do anything about the disparities that exist in our system. You can visit my platform at Gunnagle2020.com as to exactly how we're going to do it. But we need to engage in some real criminal justice reform that treats all people equally and that takes our incarceration rate down from being amongst the highest in the nation, and will save us at the end of the day over $250 million a year. We also need to care about this office if we care about movement building and if we care about real accountability. Because inside Maricopa County, we have also had some of the worst spates of officer-involved shootings in our entire nation as well. And what we've seen is a county attorney who's either unwilling or unable to provide a transparent process when it comes to officer-involved shootings. It's why I'm committed on day one to create an independent and community-involved unit to handle officer use of force cases. It's hugely important. Last, I think we should all care about this office if we care about saving taxpayer money and fully funding public education. Because right now, our criminal justice system siphons away $1.2 billion a year when it comes to our taxpayer funds. That is more than we spend in our world-class university system, our community college system, our public health system combined. And it's a system that doesn't make us any safer. It's a system that separates families, it destabilizes communities. And at the end of the day, in many instances, we'd be better off setting that money on fire than we would spending it in a criminal justice system that is this unfairly punitive. So I'm in this fight alongside you for the long haul to commit to criminal justice reform and to create a better Arizona for us all. I'm Julie Gunnagle. You can find more information about me and my site at gunnagle2020.com. And I'm so pleased to have joined you here this afternoon. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you, Julie. We really greatly appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. My internet's back on, so I'm back on my computer. So we're good to go now. I apologize for everybody for that delay there. So it looks like, oh, there he is. There's our next speaker here. So again, we got to do everything we can to elect Julie. Our next speaker is running for the Board of Supervisors in District 1. He is a hardworking guy. He is going to do an incredible job. He's running neck and neck. He's doing everything he can. I'm so proud of him. He is a community champion. He has led his entire life in being involved in community service. And in 30 days, we're going to elect him our next Board of Supervisor for District 1. Please welcome Jevin Hodge.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you to each and every one of you for joining us today. I appreciate you being here. We're so grateful for your involvement and your investment in your democracy and a desire and a want to see change. As a point of person, I jump in. That was my sixth grade math teacher, and I'm so proud to see her and her husband on this call today. So thank you for joining us. On the street from Arizona State University. I'm a graduate of Tempe's McClintock High School, and I went off to Washington, D.C., where I thought I was going to get an education, but ended up learning about life. I've been involved in politics and government long time, serving in every position that you can think of, from being the coffee boy getting paper to national spokesperson for the campaign to fix the debt, to working in the White House and serving as a founder and leader first millennial bipartisan think tank as an arm of the Bipartisan Policy Center. Spend my entire career focusing on how to bring communities together. By day, I serve as a social impact consultant that is focused on helping governments and institutions solve complex problems and communicate, their messages to their communities. And I believe that if you're going to serve your community, you must truly serve your community. And by evening, I serve as president of the Booker T. Washington Child Development Center, the longest running Head Start in the state of Arizona. I serve on the board of the Best Buddies International Arizona chapter. It's a nonprofit that's focusing on inclusion with individuals in the IDP community. And I serve on the statewide leadership advisory board for the United States Global Leadership Coalition. Previously, I was the vice chairman of the Arizona Democratic Party, where I was the young
Jevin, I think we're losing you a little bit there. Jevin, you there? I think we lost Jevin there, unfortunately. We'll give him another second to see if he gets back on. This is just the worst year ever. Cox seems to be down across the entire state of Arizona here. While I'm waiting for Jevin to get back on, let me just tell you guys, if you want to track your ballot here that's coming out in 3 days, I'm going to put this in the chat, but track your ballot, text join to 628-683. And I'm going to put that in the chat as well if you want to be able to track your ballot. If you want updates from the Maricopa County Democratic Party about elections, everything going on, text join to 602-806-8600. I'm going to put that in the chat as well. We'd love to have you guys. Oh, Jevin, are you back on?
Can you hear me now?
Now I can hear you. Jevin, go ahead.
I'll tell you this. Great job, Stephen. That's the job of a good moderator. This is a good problem to have, ladies and gentlemen. There are so many people on this call that we have broken Zoom. I'll tell you, this is a good problem to have, and keep inviting your friends so that we can get people out here. I'll keep it short. The Maricopa County Board of Supervisors is the most important and impactful position in local government. We need strong supervisors so that we can provide support for Julie Gonigal when she's our next county attorney. So we can provide support for Sheriff Paul Pinzone and when we reelect him as our sheriff. And we can provide support for Aaron Connor and Adrian Fontes and Dan Toparek so that we can have county leadership and a county government that represents the values of the individuals that live here. So I thank you so much for your appreciation today. I thank you so much for your involvement. We are going to see a brighter day, but it's going to be up to each and every one of us to make sure that happens. To learn more about my candidates involved or to invest in our movement, visit jevinhodge.com. I would be honored to have your support. Thank you so much for being here today, Steve. I'm going to turn it back over to you.
All right. Thank you, Jevin. We appreciate it. Get back to work. Keep working hard, buddy. All right. So again, next up, we have, we have such interest in this community. We're on Facebook Live on so many different groups. We are nationwide today. We have an exciting lineup. Again, we have I think we have like 225 people just on this Zoom call. And it looks like we have a couple of more hundred on Facebook Live right now. So again, thank you to all of other people, the wonderful people who put this together. We are honored, the Maricopa County Democratic Party, to host this with you guys again. Next up, excuse me, is our candidate for superintendent of schools. She is a fearless, tireless advocate for public education, and we've got to fix our schools, especially here in Maricopa County. And we are lucky that we have an incredible candidate here who is going to do just that in 30 days by becoming our next Maricopa County superintendent of schools. Please join me in welcoming Jeannie Castine.
Thank you for that introduction, Stephen, and thank you to the Muslim Democratic community for allowing me to be here today. My name is Jeannie Castine, and I am the Democratic nominee for Maricopa County School Superintendent. I am a happily married mother of 4. I am a middle school and high school teacher, and I'm also the school board president in the Creighton School District, where I've now been serving for the past 8 years. I'm the proud daughter of 2 United Auto Workers. And I've always belonged to my union, having various roles as the communications chair and as site representative. And Stephen's right, education truly is my passion. I came here in the early 90s when the tuition at ASU was about $900 a semester, if you can believe that. Ended up getting married, falling in love, took some time off, didn't finish my degree, worked as an office manager for many years, and then I finished my degree and became a middle school teacher. I saw very quickly within the 4 walls of my classroom that there was some major disparities in education, really driven by poverty. And, depending on where a child grows up, their zip code could actually determine their outcomes in a positive or negative way. And so I realized really quickly that if I wanted to make change for my students at a more macro level, that I was going to need to run for office. I never thought that I would run for public office, but, if not me, then who was going to do it? So I got into my school board in 2012. I've been nominated as president now 4 times, and I've grown frustrated over the past several years. Being a classroom teacher and a board member is definitely not easy, and it's difficult to juggle. And I was able to create the kind of change that I wanted to within my school district by providing a supper program that feeds over 100,000 suppers to our families who are dealing with food insecurity, starting a bilingual preschool that serves about 100 families who are living far below the poverty line, as well as being able to reduce the number of new hires now 3 years in a row at a time where just last August we had 1,800 classrooms without highly qualified teachers at the front of them, 1,800. I was frustrated as a teacher, and I was actually, Zarina, I was right down the road from you in the Isaac School District, because I had at one point 59 students in my class, but only 46 chairs. So I had students sitting on the floor. 5 teachers left in the middle of the year because of, you know, health issues, stress, not enough pay. And we had buckets and garbage cans that were collecting rainwater. Also, I started to see, as the current county superintendent, you know, was making some appointments that really had me kind of scratching my head, because for those of you who don't know, that is what the county superintendent does. It's the most important duty of the county superintendent, and that is the appointment of school board members. Anytime there's a vacancy on any of the 58 school districts in Maricopa County, it's the county superintendent who appoints somebody. And right now, because of COVID, we have more vacancies than we've ever had. So the next county superintendent could be making as many as 40 appointments in 2021, which is really unprecedented. And like I said, some of these appointments are folks who refuse to meet with their teachers, folks who have connections with charter schools or the voucher industry, people who seem to want to dismantle public education from the inside. So, you know, this is such an important race, because as Deidre said earlier, we're about to flip the legislature. We might even it out in the Senate, in the state Senate. But our school boards really are the heart of our democracy. You know, like I said, I never thought that I would be running for a countywide office in the 4th largest county in the United States, but it's because of the work that I've been able to do and the connections that I've been able to establish with my work on the school board. And right now we have some people running for school board who have absolutely no business creating policies for our students. People who are openly anti-Muslim, anti-LGBTQ, anti, you know, our Black and Indigenous students of color. And so this race is critical, because even if we do the work at the state level, if I don't get into this office, we could undo that work. This is our chance to really build a bench, to give people the knowledge and skill set they need to take it to the next level. So I'm so grateful to be here today. I'll put my contact information in the chat. And again, my name is Jeannie Castine. Do whatever you can, vote, text bank, phone bank, safe lit drops, because this is the race of our lifetime. And truly it is life or death. If you've noticed, we haven't had much leadership at the top of the state level, and it's our school board candidates who are fighting to keep our kids safe and making tough decisions about how to safely bring our teachers and students back to school. So again, my name is Jeannie Castine. Thanks so much for the opportunity to be here today, and let's win this thing in November. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeannie. We really appreciate that. Thank you for your leadership. I would highly encourage all of you to follow Jeannie on Facebook. She does daily live events where she talks with other educators and people around the state. They're very, very good. So please make sure you join her on her Facebook page. She just put in that link on there. Again, you know, she spoke of that about getting involved. If you want to get involved and you want to drop off voter guides at home, our link, if you want to do that, I'm going to put it in the chat here, is maricopadems.org/litdrop, LITDROP. If you want to make phone calls for us, if you want to help us make phone calls, reach thousands of voters, it's maricopadems.org/training. And again, I was asked to do this. If you would like to donate in any way to help us fund our programs, please go to maricopadems.org/donate. We've had some wonderful donations already. We'd love to have some more. I'd love to earn your support. But again, I want to go forward here and introduce our next speaker, somebody who has been a tremendous ally to everyone in here. She's been a great friend to me, very supportive. She's an education champion. She's a community service champion, and she is here to serve the people. And she is running for the Board of Supervisors in District 2. So please join me in welcoming Deidre Aboud.
Hi, Deidre Aboud here. A theme that you're going to hear throughout this is because we're really like a family at this point. so many of the candidates. I mean, we really want you to understand how interconnected all this is. Why we keep saying start from the bottom of the ballot. The school boards, they're connected to the school superintendent. The school superintendent is connected to the board of supervisors. The state legislature determines the laws that then the board of supervisors has to implement. I mean, they're all interconnected. And so we need to know each other. We need to know each other's values, and we are supporting each other. This has really been a team effort this year, and the county party has been super awesome. And making sure that the county races are highlighted, because the county races are something that most people have never even heard of. Most people didn't even know we had a county treasurer before this year, and yet it's on the ballot every 4 years. The board of supervisors, every single time people say, I've never heard of that. What do they do? So a little about me is I'm originally from Arkansas. That's where the accent comes from. I moved to Arizona in '98. I became a civil rights and social justice advocate for the Muslim community for 9 years, went to law school, became an attorney, opened up my own law firm. Me and my husband are both separately small business owners here in the Valley. I decided to run for US Senate. I did 75,000 miles across the state of Arizona, going to places that not just Muslims had never really gone to before, but candidates. A lot of the candidates had not gone before that were running for statewide office. And we had such a good time, changed so much landscape. Then Steve Slagagi asked me to look into this race because I live in this district and hardly anybody ever runs in this district, which is District 2. District 2 runs parts of Cave Creek, Carefree, Fort McDowell, Yavapai Nation Reservation, Fountain Hills, Gilbert, Mesa, Paradise Valley, Phoenix, Scottsdale, Salt River, Pima, Maricopa Indian Community. It is 1,600 miles. Almost 1 million people live just in District 2. District 2 is bigger than most congressional districts. I mean, this is huge. And yet most people don't know anything about the Board of Supervisors. So the Board of Supervisors is over everything to do with the county, everything with the county name on it, everything, every issue that you can imagine, from schools, parks, libraries, public safety, public facilities, infrastructure, all of that is through Maricopa County. Maricopa County has 5 districts, so they have 5 elected supervisors, which means that you should have at least heard of one of them, and yet we haven't. They set the local tax rate. They approve the budgets. There are almost 500 authorities, boards, commissions, departments, and special taxing authority or districts that are within the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. It is a $3 billion budget. And what we found is how important a lot of these entities are under the Board of Supervisors and the budgeting is things like the health department, the county health department, and the county environmental department. They are both under the Board of Supervisors. They have $1 million budgets, and yet we were not prepared for a pandemic. We even have a separate organization under the Maricopa County, that's 2 of them, that are specifically around planning for pandemics. And yet, once a pandemic hit, we didn't seem to have a plan. We couldn't even figure out how to do contact tracing, which is something the health department does for contagious diseases all the time, especially for sexually transmitted diseases. So this was not a new thing, and yet we didn't seem to know how to deal with it. The Board of Supervisors is the heartbeat of the state. For every county, they have one, but it's the heartbeat also of Maricopa County. Our supervisors, they make decisions collectively for the entire county, even though they're elected to one district. And our district in District 2 is a very diverse district, just like the Muslims. We're very diverse. We have everything from rural to urban. And so we have a lot of different things that we have to think about. But the main thing is our Board of Supervisors needs to be more transparent. How could you not have heard of them? How could you not know what they do? They need to be more accessible. You don't even know when their meetings are, and they're supposed to be public meetings. They are public, but you don't know about them. And we need more accountability because conflicts of interest within the Board of Supervisors is out of control. You can look at all of my policies. You can look at my website, all of my social media. It's all Deidre, number 4, boss. Deidre 4 boss. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Deidre. We really greatly appreciate it. Thank you also for helping put this event on today and organizing this for us. We really appreciate that. And again, you know, somebody messaged me. If you want to know about all of our amazing county candidates, if you want to know where to vote, how to vote, when you can vote, all of those different things, please go to MaricopaVoterGuide.com. Again, MaricopaVoterGuide.com. We would love it. I'm going to put it in the chat here. We would love it if you would share this with your social networks. We'd love it if you check out the website. We're very, very proud of it. It's a beautiful website. Check that out. So, excuse me, moving on to our next candidate. You know, Maricopa County Assessor, maybe not have heard, again, another county race that a lot of people probably don't know too much about. He is the first Democratic candidate since 1992. We have been waiting a long time for him. He was on a great article on AZ Central today. You know, we're getting the publicity out for this very, very important race. He's running a phenomenal campaign. Super proud of him. Please welcome our next Maricopa County Assessor, Aaron Connor. Aaron, take it away.
Thank you so much, Steve, for that great introduction. As always, thank you so much for your leadership. It's greatly appreciated. I want to thank the Muslim community for welcoming me to this call today. I am humbled and honored to be part of this amazing slate of candidates. Thank you so much, Deidre, for setting this up. I also want to thank Zarina. Your positivity is amazing to me, and I greatly appreciate it. That's one thing that I really picked up here as far as just the positivity. We are living in a sea of fear, frustration, negativity, and just to see a community that is so positive, it just fills my heart with a lot of joy. And I'm super excited about sharing our values in the county government. Yes, my name is Aaron Connor. I am the first Democrat to run for this office in this century. I'm humbled by that. A little bit about my background. I'm a mortgage technologist with 26 years of IT and mortgage experience. I basically held every job within the mortgage field. I know the language of assessors, I know the language of assessment, and I'm ready to serve day one. I've never been so proud to say that I'm the son of two first responders. My mom was a nurse, and my father was a police officer that became an educator and one of the youngest professors at the University of Illinois. I was born and raised in Illinois, spent 20 years in Denver, Colorado, and then also a couple years in DC, and came out here in 2016, where I had the honor of marrying the most wonderful woman I have ever met in my entire life, my wife, Sandra. I always want to thank her for her sacrifice, because not only do us candidates run, our families run as well. I'm also the founder and CEO of a concierge tech support company named ExecTech, and I have a master's degree in information systems management. I earned that while working full time. And I really think that full time is really what is really quite needed in the assessor's office. Right now, and it's unfortunate that it took Paul Peterson's scandal to highlight this office, because it's very important. As your next Maricopa County Assessor, my job will be to evaluate your property, so value your property for taxation purposes. And what's been going on with Paul Peterson, and it seems to be continuing with Eddie Cook, the current part-time unelected assessor we currently have, the assessor's office has weaponized itself against working class and people like ourselves. And what really needs to happen is we need to make sure that everybody gets a fair and accurate assessment and pays their fair share. So we can no longer punish underserved communities by taxing them out of their homes. And that will end day one once I'm elected. We're going to start having people assess properties again. Right now, currently, your property is being assessed by an aircraft. They're going to fly a plane over your house, take the assessment, and then give you your card in the mail about your assessment value. I'm a little bit crazy. I think people make better assessors than planes. People over planes, 100%. I'm going to hire about 40 new assessors. That search has already begun. Since I've had some great relationships with a lot of recruiters within Arizona, I'm starting that search right now so I can get the ground running as soon as I'm elected. Also, I'm going to elect a qualified leader to be the next deputy assessor. She's going to have a real estate experience background. My opponent does not have real estate experience. His deputy does not have real estate experience. And I think that that's what's missing in a lot of levels in government, but qualified, full-time leadership is what I'm providing. I cannot wait to get into this office, and I'm super excited about serving. And thank you so much for your time today. I greatly appreciate it.
Awesome. Aaron, thank you so much for running. Again, Aaron's website is connor2020.com. Hope you stay up to date with everything going on in his race. Thank you, Aaron, again. We appreciate it. Our next speaker for Board of Supervisors, you've heard from Jevin, you've heard from Deidre, and now our next speaker is for District 3. District 3 is in Central Phoenix to North Phoenix. It's a huge district. It's very, very competitive, and we're lucky that we have a phenomenal candidate who stepped up to run for this race. I'm so proud of her and everything she's doing. She's going to make history here in 30 days. I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about it, but she's going to make history. Please welcome our next Board of Supervisor, Whitney Walker. Oh, Whitney, we can't hear you. Hold on. Hold on. Nope. Okay, hold on. All right, I'm going to stall for a second here. Again, MaricopaVoterGuide.com. Ballots are going out in 3 days. If you want to know everywhere you're going to go, because you're going to get your ballot probably October 8th, 9th, or 10th, you want to get that ballot and turn it in as soon as absolutely possible. It is critical that we get out that vote early. You're going to hear me say that a million times. I want to thank all of you for putting this on. I think Whitney is going to get back on here in a second. I don't see her yet. But again, Trudry, thank you. We have collected already $1,300 today from the Muslim community for this event. Yes, we are trying to get to $5,000 today. So if you can contribute that, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you for all of your support. Whitney, by the way, we have 229 people just on this Zoom right here, right now. That does not include anything on Facebook or any of the amazing groups. This is the largest event we have had so far. So congratulations to all of you. That is absolutely incredible. It looks like Whitney's having a little bit of difficulty. So Whitney, as soon as Whitney gets back on, we're going to add her in right away. Dan, are you ready? I see Dan is on here. So if you don't mind, I'm going to skip ahead to Dan and we'll come back to Whitney. We're going to go right back to Whitney as soon as she gets back on the technical issues. Today is just a technical nightmare for everybody, apparently. But I want to introduce to you somebody who I was on a radio program with him yesterday and listening to his story about community service, national service. He has a 34-year history of serving our country in the military. And next up in 30 days, he is going to become our Maricopa County Treasurer. So please join me in welcoming Dan Toporek. Dan, take it away.
Thank you, Stephen, for that great introduction. And thank you to the Muslim community for listening to us. These are important times. These are times where we have to take control. And you have a bunch of people here who want to do good. And that's really what drove me into this. I just retired a year ago. And so I've been out of this service. I spent 34 years in the Marine Corps and then in the Army as an attack helicopter pilot. And I was motivated by my family of service. We understand how important it is to work for something that's bigger than oneself, to work for the community and to work for the greater good. My father was in the Army. My mom's a retired teacher. My brother's in law enforcement. My other brother's a firefighter. Even my children believe that message of community service. My oldest son is a DPS officer. My next just got out of the Navy and is now a nursing student. My next is a doctor in the Air Force. She's at Harvard right now doing a fellowship. And my next is a high school student here at Thunderbird High School. And she's just waiting for her turn and her decision on how she's gonna serve. Because that's what really drives all of us. And that's what's amazing about this group of Democrats right now. You know, Democrats haven't always done what's right. Republicans haven't always done what's right, but this is a group of people who really want to make positive change. And we want to take that group of people that have been serving themselves and change it and change the culture of service here in Maricopa County. And so The treasurer is a job that most people don't even realize what they do. But on the one hand, they're the tax collector for the county and over 600 subordinate jurisdictions, including your school districts. They keep track of what everybody's taxes are, and then they distribute that to pay the bills. But one of the really important jobs that they do, and this is going to be critical as the economy takes this little downturn because of COVID, and we're going to have a tough time making as much revenue in sales taxes and property taxes, the treasurer also invests your money to make revenue so that you can pay for essential programs, and that comes without raising taxes. It gives an opportunity to do good to the community without raising taxes. And so that's one of the things that I'm going to focus on, is finding a really good investor in this in the scheme of how you invest in public funds to protect them at all costs and yet make the very most amount of money so that we can, without raising taxes, we can pay for the services. And right now, if you look at every one of the people here that you listen to today, they're running against somebody who has a history. I don't want to indict a party, but the Republicans have been in charge in county governance so long that they've been working for themselves. They don't have this culture of working and reaching out to the community. That's why, how many people even know who their treasurer is? We have 200 plus people on this line, right? If you don't know the person who handles almost 3 billion of your dollars, there's a serious lack of accountability, because I work for you. When you vote me in as treasurer, I will be your employee, not the other way around. You're not a customer of the treasurer's office. You're the boss, and you need to know who I am, and you need to know what the job I do is. And so we've been putting out information about, if you go to our Facebook page, just really easy slides to see what the treasurer does, what the budget's like. And the reason that information is important is because you need to hold the people accountable who decide what to do with your money. Those board of supervisors, they decide what they do with your money. And if you don't know who the treasurer is, you don't know how much of your money they are doing, and you don't know who they are, how can you do your duty to hold them accountable? And they use that right now. $3 billion, how much have you seen the county has done for COVID treatment for people? How much have you seen that they have opened up the windows so that you can see what they're doing with their money? And that's what this group of Democrats wants to do. We want to be accountable to you. We want you to see what we're doing, and we want you to tell us if we're doing a good job or not. And so I'm Dan Toporek. I'm running for Maricopa County Treasurer. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this opportunity to talk with you. This is an incredible group. Your desire to do your job to serve the community goes without saying, and I just want to thank you how proud I am to be on this panel. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Dan. We greatly appreciate that and all of your service to our country. Again, Dan's website is danforaz.org. Check it out. It's a beautiful new website. All right. So going back here, she's back on. It seems, again, everybody's having technical issues today. And we're thrilled that she's back on here. And again, I'll do a very quick introduction. She is going to make history here in 30 days. As you've heard from Deidre, you've heard from Jevin. I want you to hear from our next incredible candidate for the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors. Please join me in welcoming Whitney Walker.
Hello, good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Okay. We're good. We're good, Whitney.
So I don't know if you all are aware on the call, Zoom just did like an update. And so if you haven't updated your Zoom, you may have difficulties when trying to use your microphone. And also if you have a Mac, they also ask for you to input your password as well. So just want to share that information for you all. But good afternoon once again. My name is Whitney Walker, and I am your Democratic nominee for Maricopa County Board of Supervisors District 3. I am so elated to share this space and be in community with you all this afternoon. I just actually came back from a lit dropping with voters in the district so they can be aware of who I am and how important this office is. little background about me. I came here to Maricopa County almost a decade ago, $687 in my bank account, to be the first person in my family to graduate from law school. And I did that successfully with the help of one of my favorite law professors, Julie Gunnagle, who's also a Democratic nominee for county attorney. Here in Maricopa County, I didn't start out when I was starting in my undergrad to go to law school. I wanted to be an urban planner. I grew up in a very segregated community in Southern Virginia, and I wanted to learn and understand how cities were developed. Unfortunately, my sister, my beloved older sister, found herself incarcerated. She's a domestic violence survivor. So ever since 2009, I became a champion for girls and women everywhere. That has led me to work on federal legislation, including the reauthorization of the Violence Against Women Act with now Senator Kirsten Sinema. It also allowed me to work on expanding protective orders for domestic violence and their families here in the state of Arizona. And so when I wanted to run for office, typically they ask women, or on statistics, that you have to ask a woman 7 times to run for office before she agrees. I'm not one of those women. I knew that I had the lived experience and the education, but more so the compassionate and courageous and bold leadership to lead Maricopa County into the future. And that's what I am going to do. Since so far of running for office, I have raised over $100,000. I have been endorsed by 20 organizations, including our now Democratic nominee, Vice President nominee, Kamala Harris. I am very proud to not only be the first person in my family to move west of the Mississippi or to even graduate from law school. It's now that I'm embarking on another first, one of a challenge that I welcome. Come November 3rd, I'll be the first Black woman to govern the 4th largest county in the country, and I will bring my lived experience to that position. To learn more about me and my policy stances, please visit my website, WhitneyWalkerAZ.com. I like to share more about who I am as a person and the compassion I have for our community, and allow you to do further research to understand and know my policy stances. What I would like to do when elected for the residents of District 3 as your supervisor is to make sure that we continue to provide those resources in a more equitable and accessible way to all of those within District 3, making sure that we provide these resources so people can stay in their homes, they receive wraparound testing from COVID-19, and that we are also supporting our small businesses, because 51% of people that live in Maricopa County are employed or own small businesses. I'm not going to take too much more of your time, but I just want to say thank you all so much for your organizing. I always say that coalition building is my love language, and I look forward to coalition building and working with each one of you all as your county board of supervisor. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney. Whitney, one more time, what was your website if anybody wants to reach out to you?
Yes, my website is WhitneyWalkerAZ.com. You will find my telephone number there, which it goes directly to my line, and I am very responsive. And I'm not only forward looking to leading you, but serving you as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Whitney. We really greatly appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you're doing and stepping up to run for this important position. Next up is, again, we were going back to education a little bit here for Maricopa County community colleges. You know, I tell people all this all the time. I am a graduate of Paradise Valley Community College. My wife teaches at Phoenix Community Colleges as a professor. I am deeply grateful for everything that Maricopa Community Colleges does, because I would never have made it if I went right from high school to Arizona State University. It is so important that we have a strong community college system, and we are lucky that we elected somebody in 2016 and who actually served as the president, and she is running for re-election here in 2020. You know, the Maricopa Community Colleges is one of the most important, it's probably the best community college district in the country, and we are very lucky that we have someone leading it. And so I want to introduce to you Dr. Linda Thor, who won in 2016. She's up again in 2020. If you live anywhere in Maricopa County, you can vote for her. You will not see a D next to her name. So make sure you go all the way down the ballot. I don't want to take any more away from her. I'm so honored to introduce to you Dr. Linda Thor. Please take it away.
Thank you very much, Stephen, and thanks for that great introduction, and thanks to the Muslim community for hosting all of us today. Steve, we're very proud to have both you and your wife as alumni of the Maricopa community colleges. As Stephen indicated, I originally ran for the governing board in 2016, ousting one of the incumbents who needed to be ousted. And I did serve as president of the governing board in 2019. But that is not the totality of my experience with community colleges. I've spent my entire adult life of, in fact, 41 years working for community colleges. And for 29 of those years, I was a college president or assistant chancellor. My first presidency was West Los Angeles College. Then in 1990, I did something very smart. I moved my family here to Phoenix, where I became the president of Rio Salado College for almost 20 years. I ended my career in 2015 as the chancellor of the Foothill De Anza Community College District, which serves the Silicon Valley of California. When I returned to my home here in 2015, almost immediately I started to be lobbied to run for the governing board because this nonpartisan board had become very partisan, and political agendas had become more important than student success. And so I just had to step in and help get these colleges back to where they're focused first and foremost on student success. If you're not familiar with the Maricopa Community Colleges and the role of the governing board, we do have 10 colleges. We serve 185,000 people. We employ 10,000, the 185,000 students, we employ 10,000 people, and we have a budget of $1.5 billion. The reason who's on the board is important to you is we set the policies that impact our students as well as our employees. We set the tuition that students pay. We set the property tax that you as property tax payers pay. And we approve the budget. And most importantly, we hire and monitor the chancellor, who is the chief executive officer over all 10 of these colleges. I have a couple requests for you today, and I'm repeating a theme that you've been hearing for the last 45 minutes or so. And that is that when you get your ballot sometime late next week, please vote all the way down the ballot, because it's way down there that you're going to find the Maricopa Community College's governing board candidates. And in many ways, these down ballot races have more impact on your day-to-day life than some of the top of the ballot races. And also, as Stephen indicated, because this is a nonpartisan race, you will not find Democrat next to my name. So you need to do one of two things. You need to remember my name, and it's Thor, like the thunder god, the mighty Thor, the Avenger, or you can check your Maricopa voter guide from the Maricopa County Democratic Party, where you will find me listed again way down at the ballot. So again, thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce myself to you. I'm Dr. Linda Thor, running for the at-large or the county seat on the Maricopa Community College's governing board. Have a good afternoon.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Thor. We greatly appreciate your leadership and everything that you're doing. You know, also on community college board, running for community college board, we have another person who's joining us today. She is in District 1, which is, I'll let her tell you, but it's in the eastern part of the valley. She is another highly qualified, another education champion, and we are so thankful that she stepped up to run for this important position. Please welcome our candidate for District 1 and soon to be joining Dr. Linda Thor on the board, Jacqueline Smith. Jacqueline, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Sorry,
So
go
good to
ahead.
be with you. So good to be with you. I hope that you can hear me. I am Jacqueline Smith, and I am the District 1 candidate, which includes the East Valley, Tempe, Mesa, Chandler, Gilbert, Queen Creek. And I am so appreciative of the Arizona Muslim Democrats for hosting this fantastic virtual event. I am a professor at Arizona State University and also an administrator at the ASU Foundation. And I've been in Arizona since 2009. A little bit about my journey. I moved to Arizona after finishing my law degree in Washington, D.C. at Georgetown Law, where I studied education law and policy. And I decided to come to Arizona because I was very inspired by the commitment to access at ASU. After several years, I had an opportunity to work on several projects with the Maricopa community colleges. And I realized that with access near and dear to my heart, the community colleges were really where it's at. The Maricopa community colleges, I so appreciate, offer a spectrum of learning for young people who are even in high school, all the way through a retiree who might want to take an enrichment course to better their skills or to learn some culinary arts or to just take on some learning for fun. It's important that, as Dr. Linda Thor mentioned, it's important that our governing board is dedicated to student success for a few reasons. One is that navigating the COVID-19 pandemic is very difficult for all higher education institutions. And so we want to make sure that our governing board has the empathy and the understanding to know what it's like. And as a professor who's taught during the pandemic, who's learned to teach online, and as an administrator who's been a part of the team at ASU navigating these challenges, I feel like my experiences will be very valuable as the community colleges navigate the current pandemic and the ripple effects that we will experience beyond that. Secondly, community college budgets typically have three sources of funding: state funding, your property taxes, and tuition. It's a priority for student success to keep tuition low and affordable. A few years ago, state funding for our community colleges was taken away. And I want to help advocate for a return to state funding so that we can have a stable budget, which will enable us to focus on our students and enable our faculty and staff to have the support that they need. So I hope that when you make it to the bottom of your ballot, for those of you that are in the East Valley, when you choose who to select for District 1, that you'll choose Jacqueline Smith, a lawyer, a leader, and a lifelong learner who is deeply committed to our students and our colleges. It's time for the incumbent, Lauren Hendricks, to focus on some of his other political pursuits. This year, he also ran for Gilbert Town Council, and after winning, he's actually sued Gilbert and is focusing his energy on his lawsuits with the town of Gilbert rather than focusing our students and the community colleges. So please feel free to visit my website, JVS4MCC, JVS for Maricopa Community Colleges, and I am eager to be your representative for District 1 on the Community College Governing Board. Thank you so much for your time today.
Awesome. Thank you, Jacqueline. We do appreciate that. And again, just to be absolutely clear, Jacqueline is not running against Linda Thor. They're not running against each other. So I just want to make sure that's clear because I had a couple messages about it. So please vote for both of them. Again, and thank you all of you to what you're doing. And by the way, I was asked to give an update. We have raised about $3,000 today so far. That is amazing, amazing. Thank you all. Okay, so let's continue this. We are actually on time. This is going amazing. Thank you all for doing this. This is great. All of our candidates. This is exciting. So next up, you know, Phoenix, if you live in Phoenix, you know that it is a fast growing city. And we have a very tremendous mayor and Mayor Kate Gallego. And we are very lucky today that the vice mayor of Phoenix, who was elected last, I think was it March? Was that when you were elected? Yes, she was elected last year. She's up for re-election here in 2020. Her leadership has led the city of Phoenix through this deadly coronavirus, and to make sure that we are keeping our jobs and keeping the city run smoothly. So we got to make sure that she gets reelected here in 30 days. So please welcome the Vice Mayor of the city of Phoenix, Betty Gordado. Nope. Hold on, Betty. I think you're not, maybe you had the same problem as Whitney. Hold on, try speaking one more time. Nope. Okay. I don't know if Whitney is still on. Maybe Whitney can tell you. Maybe you have to update the software.
She has to log in, log out, log back in, and
Betty,
use auto.
Betty's gonna log out and she's gonna log back in. So I'll talk for a minute while she's gonna do that real quick. Because you definitely want to make sure that we hear from her. So again, I see we have raised about $3,000 so far. If you'd like to contribute to that, maricopadems.org/donate. Thank you again. Shams, thank you for, by the way, hosting this event and keeping everybody in, keeping the agenda moving and allowing everybody to jump in. We have well over 200 people on this. Again, I want to thank you guys. If you have any questions or you want to know anything, please put them in the chat. I'm happy to answer them. Any questions you have about voting, any of our candidates. Oh, it looks like she's back on. Betty, are you there?
Can you hear me?
We are good. Betty, again, please welcome the Vice Mayor of the City of Phoenix, Betty Gordado. Betty, take it away.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much. It's an honor to be with all of you guys today. I've been in office for a little bit over a year, and it's been amazing. I say it every day that God works in these special ways, and I think that it was true for me to be on this council when this pandemic hit. I mean, when I decided to run for office last year, I don't think no one prepared us for this pandemic. No one prepared us for everything that has been happening in our state and in our country. I know that it's been incredibly difficult, but thank God that I'm there. Just a little bit of a history of me. I started as a housekeeper out in a hotel out in California. From there, started getting involved with the union. The hotel had a union, and I was asked to do a leave of absence. I decided to do the leave of absence. I said I would only do it for 6 months. 6 months turned into 20 years. I organized in LA for about 8 years, moved to Arizona in 2007. In 2008, bought a house in Maryvale and started doing a lot of good work in the city, in the city of Phoenix. And from there, recruited great leaders and started working with great leaders like Representative Athena Salman. I met Athena when she was still at ASU. And then from there, she decided to get involved with the union the same way that I did. And then after a little bit, she decided to move on and run for office. And now she's doing such great work as well. Never in my wildest dreams that I ever think I would be running for office. But when the opportunity came up, and the opportunity came for me to be able to represent the district that I lived in for 12 years, I decided to take that on. And ever since I've been in office, like Steve said, I've been fighting for working class families. I made sure that we got that COVID money out to our working class families, to our refugees. We made sure that we have money there for that people that cannot pay their bills. Making sure we have money for that, making sure that we had money for our small businesses. And I think that, you only get that when you're a working class person yourself. And for me, and I say that with a lot of pride, that I'm still a union member. I still tell everyone that I started off as a housekeeper. I'm still a working class woman. And I'm very excited to continue to represent this very diverse district. In District 5, people speak over 50 languages, which I think is exciting and amazing. It's one of the most diverse districts in the whole city. So I am going to be back in the ballot in November. And this is also a bipartisan race. So you will not see Democrat next to my name for those same reasons. But we've been doing something. But we've been doing a lot of. Sorry about that. We've been doing a lot of great work. We've delivered over 1,000 yard signs already. We've spoken with over 10,000 people in the district already. A lot of people still remember me from the election last year and love the work that we've been doing. And I'm looking forward to continue to represent all of us on the city council. And always remember, you will always have a friend there. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Vice Mayor. And thank you for running and leading. You know, we can hear your kids. I know that it is. Thank you for being a champion of working class people and everything that you do to represent your district and to help Phoenix be the city that it is. So thank you for that. Okay. So yes, we love our mom leaders. We love our mom candidates, our mom elected leaders. Thank you for everything you're doing. Next up, we're going to go, I think he's on. Oh, there he is. There he is. I see him. You know, in the state legislature, we are only a couple seats away from taking the majority. We are so close to making huge change here in the state legislature. And we are lucky that in LD 17, we have already one elected official, and we're going to get to her next. One elected official in the House, but we have got to replace that person in the Senate who is representing. He is one of the key figures to flip the Senate. Please welcome for LD 17, AJ Curtaloo. AJ, you want to take it away from here? AJ, welcome. Thank you for joining.
Yes, I do. Thank you for having me. Thank you, Stephen. And thank you, Arizona Muslim Democrats, a group that I belong to. That's awesome. I'm very happy to be here and seeing this number, more than 200 people on a Zoom call. I mean, that gives me hope. It makes me, you know, so grateful for all you do. This is amazing. So my name is Ajlan Kurdolu. You can call me AJ. And with your support, with the support of Arizona Muslim Democrats, and with the support of my district, God willing, I'll be your next state senator from LD 17. Little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Istanbul. I moved to Arizona after college, got here to get my MBA. And after that, just like probably like many of you here, I decided to make Arizona home. And I built my business here from ground up in East Valley. I own a couple of retail stores concentrating on home decor and furniture. And I bought my home here in my district for more than 15 years ago that I'm sharing with my wife, who is a school teacher as well on the Cartwright School District on the West Valley. And as I always say, and at this moment, I have the honor to represent my district. I have a chance to represent my district at Arizona State Senate as a first-generation American. And I am extremely excited about this. I found that our country is, as they say, it is an exceptional country, and that's why we are here. That's why we make this great country our home. And I'm humble, but I'm also very happy about my district and my state that giving me that chance. I know that this country, no matter what the problems are, it always moves towards that perfect union. We have that in us. Why I'm running? I'm running basically, we have 3 issues, and you probably heard it from other candidates as well, because these are the issues that we have to solve in Arizona. I'm here to provide a best education to Arizona kids in Arizona. We are where we are right now, not just as Arizonans, but as first-generation Americans, is unacceptable. We shouldn't be number 48, 47 on education field. We can do better. And I am running to provide a better protection on healthcare to all hardworking Arizonans. And this is very crucial right now, especially after the passing of Justice Ginsburg. Everything is on the line at this moment. We cannot go back 10 years. That's what our opponents are trying to do. And also I am running to provide assistance to our small businesses, local small businesses, so they can survive this pandemic induced recession, I would say. But if anybody asks, hey, why is AJ is running? Can you summarize in one sentence? Please let them know that I am running to pave the way to all hardworking Arizonans to have a chance to live their own American dream like I do. And like Steven said, everything goes through in Maricopa through LD17. As LD17 goes, as Maricopa will go. To flip, we have this once in a 50-year chance to flip both chambers in Arizona. We have to push me through the finish line and keep Jennifer Pollock, my running mate, Representative Pollock's seat in our district. Well, that way we can flip the both chambers, and then we can really have a bipartisan government in Arizona with the Republican governor and the legislature in Democratic hands. Maybe we can get something done because the issues are very important. And we have right now, folks, 30 days left, really. I have a couple of things that I need from you. I know probably the listeners of this calls, you are all registered, I'm sure. But if not, please do. Tomorrow is the last day. And not just your family. Ask the friends that you really don't talk about politics. Let's break that thing. You can talk politics with friends and ask them to get registered. And of course, after you register, you have to vote. Please do not forget to vote. That's another important point. And finally, please keep us all in mind. Say a prayer or two for us. Inshallah, we all gonna be elected with your support. Thank you. Thank you so much. I mean, these meetings are making me so happy and so hopeful. Thank you all.
And AJ, let me ask you a question. Somebody made did somebody endorse you that we may have heard of? Were you endorsed?
There is this great guy, you know, he served 8 years as a president of the United States, Barack Obama, like 10 days ago, endorsed me and my running mate. I mean, honestly, that can happen only in this country. I came here, I'm not gonna give the year, many years ago, after college, and now I've been endorsed by President Barack Obama. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. It will, November the 3rd, when I get elected. Thank you, folks.
I feel like I've heard of that Barack Obama guy. I feel like that's a great endorsement that you should be very proud of.
He's a solid guy. Yes.
He's a great guy. And speaking of your running mate, you know, and she won before. She was the first Democrat ever elected in this area. She has done tremendous work in her short time. She has absolutely 100% earned multiple terms, but she's up for re-election here. And you know what? We're going to put her in the majority and very soon here. And I can't wait to see what she's going to be able to do when she's in the majority. So please welcome from LD17, Representative Jennifer Pollock.
Thank you so much, Stephen, and thank you for everybody for spending your time this Sunday afternoon and welcoming us to speak to you today. I am State Representative Jennifer Pollock. I'm finishing my first term in the Arizona House of Representatives, and I'm running for re-election. So my background is in education. I'm an Arizona native, and I have known I wanted to be a teacher from the time I was 6 years old. I loved reading, I loved school, I loved my teachers growing up, and there was nothing that I wanted to do more than to teach. So after getting my bachelor's degree at Northern Arizona University, I started my teaching career. And because I grew up here, I didn't realize that our classes were too large. I didn't realize that in other places, teachers weren't spending their hard-earned money to make sure that their students had the supplies that they needed. There was one year where I was teaching second grade, and we decided to have pen pals with a friend of mine who taught in New York. We put together our list, and it turned out my class was double the size of hers. So that was the first of many eye-opening events that happened to me. Now, back in 2013-14, that school year, my school won the National Blue Ribbon Award. That's a really big deal because only 5 schools in Arizona receive that award each year. So you would imagine everybody would be so proud and the morale in our school would be so high. However, that year, our salaries were actually going down. Because of a lawsuit, our bonus structure was being phased out and our wages were going down. We had a number of teachers that school year who couldn't afford to continue teaching, so they broke their contract mid-year and they left. It wasn't because they didn't love teaching anymore, it was because they couldn't afford to do it. Those of us who stayed behind were working several jobs to continue to pay the bills. I had 3. So in 2014, that's when I started getting involved locally. So I found my fellow Democrats in Chandler. I served on the executive board, and then I went to candidate training. So I could learn as an elementary school teacher how to be a candidate, how to run a campaign. I did my training through Emerge Arizona and Leading for Change. And I see Kiana Sears on the line. She and I were in the same class for Leading for Change. So in 2016, at the end of the school year, I left my classroom to run for office. And we worked really, really hard. And I'll tell you what, there were people within the Democratic Party who questioned me. They said, why are you doing this? Your campaign is not viable. There's no way you can win. And when people tell me that, it makes me want to work harder. So we worked very hard, and I ended up losing to the Speaker of the House by 2.5%. And you might think, oh, well, you lost. But you know what? It was only 2.5%. I went from the classroom to getting that close in about 6 months' time. So the team decided that we needed to keep working. We worked with some of your help in 2017 and 18 to knock so many doors, to talk to so many people. And I ended up winning, not only winning the seat, but being the top vote getter. And it wasn't me alone who did it. It was so many people who were willing to walk, who were willing to talk to their neighbors and friends that pushed me over the edge. So now at the legislature, I am serving on the House Education Committee, and I'm serving on the House Judiciary Committee. I'm learning so much, and I look forward to being able to come back. Now, as my running mate, AJ Curtaloo, said, we need your help. We need you to have those maybe uncomfortable conversations with the people you know. We need you to ask them to make sure that they register to vote. The last day to do so is tomorrow. We also need them to make sure that they vote. Now, if you live in my district, we're still outnumbered by the Republicans by about 9,500 votes. So we use a strategy called the single shot. And what we ask you to do when you're voting for the House of Representatives, you get 2 votes, but we ask you just to use 1. We ask you to vote for me and to consciously not use your second vote. That will take the vote away from the Republicans, which will mathematically give me enough votes to win. So that's the trick in my race. And I really hope that you will support both AJ and me. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon.
Awesome. Thank you, Representative Pollock. We greatly appreciate that. And we look forward to seeing you in the majority. Along with AJ, we get some better representation in LD 17, and we're going to get that in 30 days. Now, going back to the State House, the House of Representatives, we do have some tremendous leaders here who have been doing great work, even though they've been in the minority. And one of those leaders is from LD 26, and that's Representative Athena Salmon. And I'm very proud of everything that she's doing. She is leading by example. She is another, just like Betty Gordado, another champion of the working class and for the people of her district and across Arizona. I'm excited to see everything that she's going to do when she's in the majority here in 30 days. So please welcome Representative Athena Salmon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that kind introduction. I am so excited to be here, and I want to echo AJ in just my pure amazement and joy to see over 200 people on this call, just on the Zoom, not even counting all the people live streaming on Facebook. And it is just so wonderful in 2020 to be running in a year and to be living in Arizona, where traditionally Democrats have had a hard time finding Democrats to run for every seat. But this year, this year, people see the writing on the wall. They see that the Democrats are the leaders and that the Democrats are the ones paving the way forward for an Arizona in America that includes all of us. We already see it in the leadership under Vice Mayor Guardado, who has done such amazing work to stand up for immigrants and for working families on the city council. I can tell you the difference between working with Jennifer Pollock versus working with JD Mesnard or Jeff Wenninger. It's been night and day. It's been night and day. Like Jennifer, every decision that she makes, she thinks so deeply about how this is going to impact children, how it's going to impact our educators, our schools, the local business leaders and small business owners in the district, how it's going to impact your family. Like that kind of foresight, that kind of sensitivity to the people's need. We need more of that, which is why I'm so excited. I told Jen this, that when she announced that AJ is for running mate and we can actually add AJ to the Senate, oh my gosh, like this is like the LD17 dream team. So if you aren't already helping out in LD17, if you live in Chandler, if you live in Gilbert, please send your resources that way. If you are on West Phoenix, please send your resources towards Betty Guardado so we can make sure that we keep her voice on the city council as well. So I am State Representative Athena Salmon. I represent Tempe, Mesa, South Phoenix, in the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community. You can kind of see it just over my shoulder, the map of my district. And you know, one of the things that inspired me to run originally 4 years ago and then just keeps my fire going, keeps me moving forward, is the fact that I come from a really diverse family. You know, I hope to be beginning next year, not the only member in the legislature that has Muslim family members. When AJ joins us, well, there will be 2 of us who have family members in the Muslim community. But right now I'm the only person. And so when we see attacks by the state Republicans, when we see attacks by our president, the Islamophobic attacks directed towards this community, it's not this hypothetical concept. It's not just this group of other people that I feel accustomed to or feel a responsibility to defend. Like, we're literally talking about members of my family who are being attacked, who are quite the opposite of these smears that are being displayed. My uncles, my cousins, like they work so incredibly hard to make a difference in their communities in this country. And that is so true of most of our families, of all immigrant communities, and for American citizens who've been here for many generations. And that's the America that I grew up in with my own family. And that's what I expect from my government leaders. I expect legislators who are investing in people, not the powerful and the wealthy, not the people who divide us, not these forces that do no purpose to serve us, but I want a government that actually works for us. And quite frankly, you know, I'm on the younger side of the caucus. I'm one of the millennial at the legislature. And one of the things that makes me so excited that Democrats are taking the majority, fingers crossed, in both chambers this year, is the fact that for the first time in my life, we can actually start fixing and we can actually start investing. We can actually have a government that works for you. Literally, there are 2, now there's a 3rd generation being born, I think like this year, next year, the year after that, right? So we're going on almost 3 generations where Arizona hasn't been working for the people. But we have an opportunity to build that. So the next generation and the generation after that and the generation after that, they won't remember these days. They'll only know an Arizona, they'll only know an America where their elected officials are reflective of them, where they look like their communities, it truly reflects the diversity of our country, and where their government cares about their needs first, cares about the people's first. So I'm very excited to be here. I am so excited. I see so many familiar faces, Mohammed, Shams, Zarina, like hello, and so many other people. Hello, it's so good to see you. And I think I'm at my time. So again, it's so wonderful to be here. And I run clean, so I don't need any financial contributions. But one way you can always help me out is, you know, follow me on social media. If you don't, I post a lot of updates. I share things by my colleagues too in the caucus, like Jen, AJ, other people, Councilwoman Guardado stuff. So, you know, definitely I'm on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. So if you don't follow me on those platforms, definitely if you want to stay in the loop of some of the work that I'm doing, but then also some of the work that the caucus as a whole is doing to advocate on your behalf. Thank you all so much. It's good to be here. Thank you. I'm going to turn it back over to Stephen.
Awesome. Thank you, Representative. We greatly appreciate it. Thank you for everything that you're doing. So next up, and I just want to make sure, it looks like I see him on the call here now. Everybody probably knows him. He did a tremendous job as the mayor of Phoenix for a very long time. He led Phoenix to one of the largest job opportunity and growth.
I think Stephen is frozen.
Yeah, so Zarina, you want to announce Greg Stanton?
It would be an honor. So hopefully Stephen will get back in as well. But as he was alluding to, this person has served our state, has served Phoenix just marvelously. And we were sad to lose him, but we knew that we didn't quite lose him. He just went on to continue to represent us on a bigger platform. As far as the Muslim community, we got to see him at every single Eid prayer. He came out to the largest gathering of Muslims in the Phoenix area. He regularly came and took time out of his schedule to be there. He was there with us when we celebrated. He was there with us when we cried. He was there with us on a variety of levels. And so without further ado, it is a distinct privilege and honor to be able to introduce us all to Congressman Greg Stanton.
All right, thanks, Zarina, very much. Boy, what a great job subbing in on a moment's notice when we lost Stephen. Well, I'll have to give him a hard time when Stephen gets back on that was the best speech we ever heard from him. And I'm just joking. Good to see everybody, and Mohammed and Zarina, and I see Deidre, and oh my goodness, so many wonderful people. AJ, you're going to win your race. So I'm excited when you get to be elected and serve our community in the legislature. Athena is a tough act to follow. She's an awesome young superstar in the making, and she's done such great work in the minority in the state legislature. I can't wait to see what great things come from her leadership when she serves in the majority, where she's not fighting that uphill battle, but actually has a chance to have her public policies adopted over and over and over again. So I just want to say thank you. This community, of course, the Muslim community has been supportive of me so many years. Zarina, you mentioned, I come to every event and an opportunity because I love the community, and you've loved me right back. And that means the world to me. That's not going to change one bit. I think Athena hit a lot of the themes that I just wanted to say, which is, we could talk about a lot of different public policies, but this group has already decided which way you're gonna vote. So I don't want to go on and on, other than to say that the sad thing about what I have to deal with in Washington, what we have to deal with in the country with this president, and oh, by the way, I do pray for the president because I want him to be fully healthy when he loses on November 3rd and Joe Biden wins, and we can move forward in a much better direction as a country. I wish no ill will on his health. I just want him out of the White House. That's what I really care about. Anyway, but the blatant racism that we've seen out of this president, his whole campaign years ago started out with racism towards our Latino brothers and sisters, particularly those from Mexico, and then we saw the Muslim ban, which is this blatant racism, and we've done all we can in Congress. I serve on the Judiciary Committee to overcome those things through immigration reform and through the No Bans Act to try to ban the Muslim ban, and they try to change it. I guess they added North Korea to the ban to try to pretend like it wasn't a Muslim. It's a Muslim ban, and we know it, and that's just so un-American, goes against our values, and is totally self-defeating, not only for families in America that want to see their family members from abroad, but just from an economic perspective, to make it so much harder from people that have to be from Muslim majority countries to be able to enter America and have their lives and careers here. Some of the most talented people in engineering and science and medicine. And from a economic perspective, that's totally self-defeating that we would have gone in that direction. So it's been my honor to serve in Congress now for a couple of years and to serve on the Judiciary Committee, which is the key committee as it relates to overcoming some of this blatant racism. And then when Joe Biden gets in the White House, I can't wait to also be in the majority, just like I mentioned with Athena, and do things like pass the DREAM Act and gun safety legislation and advance the Voting Rights Act so that we don't have to deal with this voter suppression that we're trying to see, and advance election security and climate change policy and reducing pharmaceutical drug prices and tax fairness and pass an infrastructure bill and build real oversight back into our system, all the things that I know the people on this call are rooting for. So putting aside policy, now we need you to vote large. Obviously, everyone on this call is going to vote the moment that they get their ballot in the next couple days. So I'm going to vote right away. I'm going to vote that night and take it to the mailbox and drop it in there. And I do trust the mail, by the way. I don't want to vote by mail later, but you got to get that in right away. But everyone on this call has a responsibility to vote big, to make sure that everyone in your circle of friends and family and business associates, even people you're not comfortable talking to about politics, you don't have to tell them to vote for Biden. Just tell them to vote, because the higher voter turnout we get in this election is going to be good for candidates that share our values. So I'll leave it at that. I know there's a short time window, and we've got the amazing solar team that's coming up next, as I understand it. They're going to really change energy policy in the state of Arizona, move us in a direction of clean energy, and I just couldn't be more excited. So I don't know are we taking questions or not? If we are, I'm happy to take any questions that anyone may have, even Mohammed.
Greg, I am back. Thank you, Congressman Stadden. I have no, Zarina, thank you for taking over. I don't know, Greg, what can we do about better internet access here in Maricopa County? Because I don't know what is going on today. Everybody's having issues.
Steve, I just want to say that Zarina, at a moment's notice, gave one of the best introductions that I've had in my entire career. And she didn't even know she was going to give that introduction because of your internet issues.
Well, thank you.
That's leadership, stepping in at a moment's notice. All right. Look, we've already, on the House side, we passed a major infrastructure bill that had $100 billion for broadband access, high-speed internet. And that is the number that it would take to fully implement broadband access in every neighborhood in America, whether it be in urban areas and often lower income areas where people don't have easy access to broadband, in rural areas, and in tribal communities. We're so lucky in Arizona to have so many great tribal communities, but unfortunately, almost none of those tribal communities have strong internet access. That's got to change. First and foremost, in the modern economy, you have to have access to the internet high speed in order to really conduct business. We've learned from an educational perspective, especially with so many kids that are learning from home still, to be as safe as possible until we can finally beat this virus. That really can't happen without access to high-speed internet. And so many kids across Arizona and the country don't have that yet. And things like solving our water issues. There's so many, farming is really important to the Arizona economy, but agriculture is one of the challenging areas as it relates to water usage. We've got to get water usage down in urban areas, in agricultural areas as well. And one of the ways to do that is to give farmers access to high-speed broadband so that they can change their watering patterns based on, right to the minute atmospheric conditions, and change the drip systems and things like that would make their water usage go down. So having high-speed internet all across Arizona, all across the country, helps us achieve so many other goals that we have: education, business, especially helping small locally owned business, and environmental and water issues. So there's so many reasons why that's got to pass. And as you've read Joe Biden's Build Back Better plan, it's a really comprehensive plan. Once that gets passed, high-speed internet broadband is at the top of the list for investment.
Awesome. So, Congressman Sam, we had a question that came in. Just one question for you. What are you looking forward to doing most when we take back the Senate and have Joe Biden as our president?
Well, look, first things first. This terrible virus is still going to be among us, and so we don't fully get the American economy back until we fix the virus. And so, look, there's so many other things we could go through, dozens and dozens of other very positive things that's going to happen when Mark Kelly wins the Senate and the Democrats have the majority in the Senate, when Joe Biden wins the White House, and we maintain and grow our Democratic majority in the House. So many good things are going to happen from that. But first and foremost, we actually have to have a national plan and strategy on COVID, which we have never had. We actually have to use the Defense Production Act in a way that advances the interests of the American people to solve. And we got to have a nationwide mask mandate, which is what at the top of Joe Biden's list. No, there is no constitutional right not to wear a mask in the middle of a pandemic, even at the White House when you're introducing a right-wing judge for the United States Supreme Court. There is no reason that people shouldn't be wearing the mask and social distancing. And so, you know, when Joe, that's job number one. So I don't even use the word excitement, but it's what we owe the American people is adult leadership, honesty and transparency on the issue of this virus. And that's exactly what you're going to get when Joe Biden enters that White House and we have the majorities that we need.
That is great. One looks like one final question here that we're getting.
Why not?
You know, what is your plan to vote here, Congressman Sand? We got 30 days. How are you going to vote? You're voting by mail, correct?
I plan to vote by mail, which means that I will fill it out the night it comes and mail it out the next day. I will drive it to a U.S. Postal Service site and drop it in one of the boxes. That's what I always do. And one of the things we're encouraging, look, even people on this call, these are highly educated voters, highly informed voters, but I bet even the people on this line don't even know yet all of the judges they may or may not be voting for, you know, all the things up and down the ballot. Don't wait till you get your ballot. Do the research now so you not only can be a first week voter, you could be a first day voter, and then do what you need to do to be a leader in terms of getting everyone else in your circle of influence, family, friends, business associates, to vote. Because the higher the voter turnout, number one, it's good for democracy, and number two, it's probably good for candidates that share our values. So vote early, which is exactly what I'm going to do, get it out of the way, and then you're not done. You're still going to have about a month left of work to make sure that everyone else in your circle participates in this election well. And I even have those awkward conversations with people that you don't know if they're Democrats or Republicans, and you've never talked politics with them before. Doesn't matter. Your job as a leader is to get them to participate in this election. Yeah, you're probably going to get a few Republicans to participate, but you know what? That's part of the democratic process. We want as many people to vote as possible. So go ahead, please have, in a nice way, but have those awkward conversations with people, encouraging them to participate in this election.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Congressman. We greatly appreciate everything that you're doing. Thank you for your leadership. All the comments here have been, you know, that you have been a champion for this community. Thank you for everything that you're doing. So thank you for
joining. Why I like this community so much? Because they're some of the most fun people I know, and I love hanging out with them. So thanks for keeping inviting me to your wonderful events. Have a great one. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Thank you, Congressman. Okay, moving on to the Arizona Corporation Commission. The Arizona Corporation Commission affects every single person in the state of Arizona. And it is so critical that we take back the majority on this board because we need to get Commissioner Sandra Kennedy some help. We need to make sure that utilities are not buying seats on this board. And we are very lucky that we have three outstanding candidates, the Solar Team 2020. And I'm going to start us off with our first presenter here of the Solar Team. Please welcome Anna Tovar.
Thank you, Stephen. Thank you so much. And we heard you in echo, so that means that the Arizona Corporation Commission is extra important, which it is. So I'm proud to be on with our Solar Team 2020. Just to give you a little bit of information about myself, I'm currently the mayor out in the city of Tolleson, which is in the West Valley. For the past 7 months, been fighting this COVID pandemic with my sister mayors all across the state and making sure that we're bringing resources to our communities. Since the president doesn't have a plan, nor does our governor, he tends to punt a lot of things. It was up to mayors and our city councils here to move our state forward in this pandemic. So I'm very grateful and thankful for all of our city council mayors, also our Vice Mayor Betty, shout out to you. You've done an amazing job. And our councils as well too. We are the ones that are going to be moving Arizona forward and getting out of this pandemic. And we're here not to boast, but we're here to get the job done for Arizona families. For me, I am running for the Arizona Corporation Commission. for 3 solid reasons. For me, I've been in elected service, and I've been proud of that. I started off as a public school teacher. I taught kinder and first grade and truly thought that I would be a school teacher for the rest of my life and would have been ecstatic about it. But as you know, life throws you curveballs, and my curveball was cancer. So literally from one day to the next, I had to stop teaching. And that was the hardest thing to do because I had a room full, as Jennifer said, I think I had 30 kindergartners in my classroom that I had to leave. And that just hurt me so much. But I had a big battle, and that was the battle to fight for my life right in front of me. I'd been married to my high school sweetheart, and at the time had 2 very young kids. So I knew I had to fight to be there for them. Thankfully, I got through cancer. My journey was long, but thankfully my family, my community was there, and my brother, most importantly, my only brother, was my donor for both of my transplants. So I knew right after I conquered cancer that I needed to live life to the fullest. And I really thought I had my priorities in order before cancer, but boy, does it wake you up during the journey. So I wanted to make sure I lived my life, I would say every day to the fullest, with positivity and not having fear. And so that's why I also served on our Tolleson City Council. And from there, I went on to the state legislature in 2009. For me, it was super important to take that risk because for me, it was like, what do I have to lose? There's so many Arizona families that are depending that their values and their issues be spoken about and be presented at the Capitol. Way back then in 2009, we had a super minority, but boy, have we come a long way. And I'm super excited about this year and turning both houses blue and have that majority. I served on leadership. I was the House whip, and also in the Senate, I was a Senate whip and also the Senate minority leader, and also ran the Latino caucus. It taught me a lot when I was there. It taught me to always make sure that I'm the voice for everyday Arizonans. And that is something that I want to do at the Corporation Commission. You may not know it, but the Arizona Corporation Commission is one of the most powerful entity in the entire state of Arizona that people know very little about because it affects your life day in and day out. From the gas that you pump to the switches that you switch for electricity to the gas that you cook with as well too. There's so many things that are very important issues for Arizona families. I'm also running with our solar team because we want to do our part in expanding renewable energy. For far too long, the commission has sat and not done anything about it. We have one amazing commissioner, and that's Commissioner Kennedy, and she is there fighting for Arizona families every single day. But the 4 Republicans that are on there are not helping Arizona families. They're actually taking us backwards in regards to any type of renewable energy and leaving a cleaner and healthier environment for Arizona. As I mentioned, I had cancer, but that cancer was caused by an environmental toxin. I've absolutely have switched my life and how I want to move forward in making sure I'm as healthy as possible. But the environment plays such a crucial component in how it keeps our families healthy. As a school teacher, I saw it with our kids that had asthma. And for me, it's a very personal and passionate issue that I want to bring environmental justice back to the commission so that our Arizona families don't need to worry about these issues. We need to be their voice there at the commission. Last but not least, I'm running to restore that trust and accountability back to the commission. The commission was established in our state constitution, and I want to bring that primary focus back, and that is to represent everyday Arizonans and serving everyday Arizonans, being their advocate there. For far too long at the commission, that hasn't been the priority. The priority has been the utilities and the monopolies that go in front of the commission. Well, that needs to stop. We need to bring the focus back to where it belongs, and that's to all of our Arizona families. I look forward to answering any questions, and I'm super excited for you to meet the rest of the Solar Team 2020, Shay and Bill. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Anna. We really greatly appreciate that. So let's just keep it rolling. Let's move on to the other member of your team. I think Shay is up next. Again, a member of the Solar Team. We got to do everything we can to get her elected. Please welcome Shay Stanfield. Shay, you're on mute.
Thank you. Not very often do you shut me out.
Don't worry, everybody has had technical issues today, and mostly me. So welcome, Shay. Take it away.
Okay. I'm Shay Stanfield, and I'm a clean elections candidate running for the Corporation Commission. I actually grew up in Arizona in a family that worked in service. My dad worked for the CDC and the Center for the Disease Control. And we came here in 1957 with an epidemic on the Hopi Reservation. And I was fortunate enough that he worked his way up and I got to stay here. My mom was an English teacher and a neighborhood activist. So obviously I learned that getting out in the neighborhood, getting petitions signed, going to meetings, getting your voice together was the way to get things done. My personal career is in education. I went to ASU and I taught for 40 years in the Scottsdale School District and counseled. And during that time, just like Anna mentioned, as I grew up with special ed in the schools from 1973 forward, more and more of the children were having issues with asthma from either dirty air or crop spraying in the area where I taught, or environmental toxins from Motorola, who is polluting the groundwater in South Scottsdale with chemicals from their semiconductor plant. So that got me going very aggressively on volunteering with groups that saved urban open space. And part of two of the big projects I worked on was the McDowell Mountain Recreation Area, which is now in preserve, and the Spur Cross Conservation Area north of Cave Creek, Phoenix, which is now in preserve. That led me into politics because I was able to interface through all those land purchases and negotiations with the state and federal and county governments. I stepped up to run for town council in Cave Creek, won my election, thinking I was going to center on preservation again, because that was my big thing. But our local water company was ready to, private water company was ready to do something different. The gentleman wanted to retire. And so that opened up the next can of worms that got me my experience in water. And what that means in Arizona and all the agencies and companies that come into that. So I'm running for the Corporation Commission to get the majority, number one. Sandra Kennedy, she is awesome. She's done a great job. But can you imagine what more we could do if we had the solar team on there, 4 out of 5 seats on that commission? I'm stepping up, just like my cohorts on the solar team, to fight the corruption, the dirty money that came in, and all the decisions in the last 12 years that have basically ignored you and ignored us in decision making in favor of the large corporations. Second of all, the Corporation Commission was put in the Arizona Constitution to be the voice of the people. We're going to get back to that. I got $5 and I've got $2 and $10. The people funded my campaign here. I owe you the representation on that committee and representation for your family's health. And third, but not at all least, to move the renewable energy standards forward. Bill, who you'll hear from next, actually wrote the original REST rules back in 2006. Since then, they were set at 15% by 2025 for renewable energy. We're not even to 13% now, because the last 12 years, the Republicans have been in there and they've basically eroded them and have tried to get rid of the REST rules. So that is absolutely a priority, to get those advanced, larger, and then put those rules into standards and requirements, not wimpy goals. So thank you for your time and thank you for your votes, and please vote for 3, the solar team, and we will do the job for you, for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Shay. We really appreciate that. And again, that we keep getting this question, and I want to make sure I go over this. Vote for all three of them. It's not vote for one. It's not vote for two. They're not running against each other. You're voting for all three of them. That is so important. So to wrap us up, our final speaker, and he has been a leader in Arizona for a lifetime of service, making Arizona a better place to serve. We got to get him back on this board. Again, we've got to get Shay. We've got to get on here. We have got to get a majority and make Sandra Kennedy our chair of the Corporation Commission. And that is going to be done when we make sure we elect our next speaker as well. Please welcome Bill Mundell.
Thank you, Stephen. I think I'm the only thing standing between everybody and adjournment. So I will speak quickly. You know, I got my start in public service. I was raised in a military family and always was taught to put community and country over self. I did that. I took that to heart, got involved in Chandler fighting police corruption and corruption in the court system. At that time, the police department, they were stopping people without probable cause, mainly people of color. The judge was dismissing tickets for prominent people in the city of Chandler, and I got involved, and as a result of that, we stopped that corruption. I was appointed at age 27, the presiding judge. I then went on to serve in the legislature, where I wrote numerous laws protecting Arizona's environment, including a law preventing Arizona from becoming the dumping ground for hazardous waste, laws protecting our mountains, our rivers, and our native plants. I want to return with the solar team, and as Stephen said, it's very important to vote for all three of us. If one of us wins, that'll be a great ego trip, but it won't change public policy in the state of Arizona. So we want to return to the commission to stop unjustified rate increases by politically powerful monopolies, fight climate change by making Arizona the solar capital of the world, stop the dark money that has corrupted not only the commission, but our democracy in general, and led to those nonstop unjustified rate increases and the crushing of rooftop solar. My wife, Barbara, was, many of you may know, was the first woman presiding judge in Maricopa County, the first and only Latina, the first and only person of color. And from the day that she was sworn in, Joe Arpaio and Andrew Thomas harassed her, our family, and even her over 80-year-old father. So thankfully, we got rid of both of them, and they're long gone. I bring that up because it's important that we all work together. We all work together in the next 30 days to turn not only the Arizona Corporation Commission blue, the legislature blue, which is really important, the U.S. Senate blue, and that we get rid of the orange man in the White House and turn it blue. It's going to make such a difference in public policy in Arizona, and especially at the Corporation Commission. As was noted, there's only one Democrat on the commission right now, and that's Commissioner Kennedy. She's the chair of my campaign committee and encouraged me to run again. And I said, okay, I'll give it one more shot here and to get back to the commission and help her. And with Anna and Shay, you're gonna see a tremendous difference in the commission. We're gonna start, as I said, protecting Arizona families, and we're not gonna just rubber stamp every rate increase that comes before the commission. So thank you for your time. This is a great turnout. I looked at the number of participants. Anna and Shay and I have been to a lot of events, and this is one of the best ones, maybe the best from a total participation standpoint. So I thank you for putting it together, and thank you for inviting us to speak here today.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bill. Again, vote for all three of them. Please make sure that we elect, excuse me, everybody that you heard from tonight. But again, the solar team is so important. Anna, Shay, and Bill, vote for all three of them. Bill, one more time, can you just say your website again, just if people want to look up some more information about you guys?
Yeah, I don't even know if I said it once, but I'll say it. Thank you for reminding me. No, thanks for reminding me. It's Mundell2020.com, Mundell2020.com. And then I'm also Bill Mundell for Corporation Commission on Facebook, and then I tweet at Mundell Bill, all of those different social platforms.
Great. Well, again, thank you for joining us today, all three members of the solar team. Do everything we can. We're going to get you guys elected here. So that wraps us up. I'm going to have Mohammed here say a closing, but I just want to thank you all for joining us. We have raised nearly $4,000 today. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you for getting there. That is just amazing. Zarina, thank you for filling in when my internet went out like 17 times today and as well in the first 15 minutes. Everybody was having problems today, but you filled in like a champion. Thank you for doing that. Everybody, again, thank you for what you're doing. We got 30 days to win this. Mohammed, I'm going to have you wrap us up. Go ahead, Mohammed. Thank you again for having, sorry, we're just really quick. Thank you again for having me be a moderator for this event. I was truly honored. My name is Steven Spagaki. I'm the chair for the Maricopa County Democratic Party. Thank you. Mohammed, take it away.
Well, thank you. I cannot thank everybody enough to that join us today. That was one of the best, actually. It is the best of the reform that we have, and we hope to continue having those reforms, and we encourage our community, and it is very, very important. This is one of the nicest things we can do for our community is educate them, get them to register to vote, get them out to vote. So I really appreciate it. I just one side note there, Sheriff Benzon was supposed to be joining us. Call of Duty, he got a call today and he has to go report to work. So that's the people on uniform as to deal with on a daily basis. So don't forget, Paul Benzon is our friend, so vote for him as well. And thank you again for all of you who participated, and we'll continue to have this reform, hopefully until we turn Arizona blue. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us again. We had a great time. About 300 people. Amazing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.